Meet Electro, the futuristic marvel of 1939. Built by Westinghouse, this 7-foot-tall robot could walk, talk, and even smoke a cigarette. At a time when science fiction seemed far from reality, Electro wowed audiences at the New York World's Fair, promising a future of intelligent machines. His metallic frame and human-like gestures captured imaginations, but beneath the shiny surface, Electro was powered by simple circuits and voice commands. Still, for millions, he was a glimpse into tomorrow, a symbol of innovation and hope before the chaos of World War II changed the world forever. This isn't just a robot. It's the birth of a dream that still shapes our lives today. In 1931, inventors unveiled a daring experiment, a single-wheel motorcycle known as the monowheel. This curious contraption wrapped the rider inside a massive wheel, creating a surreal fusion of man and machine. Riders could be seen peering out from within the giant wheel, propelling themselves forward as the entire assembly rolled. Though visually striking, monowheels proved difficult to control and never became mainstream. Still, this odd marvel captured the public imagination, promising a new era of personal mobility. Looking at the design now, it seems more art than engineering, a wild idea on wheels. It's a reminder that some inventions are as bold as they are impractical, yet they push the boundaries of creativity. In 1947, Jess Dixon took a bold leap into the future with his flying automobile, a machine that looked like science fiction brought to life. Part car, part helicopter, this strange invention promised freedom from traffic and a new age of personal aviation. Powered by 2 contra-rotating blades and a small engine, it could hover a few feet off the ground. But safety and practicality were major obstacles. Like many futuristic dreams of the era, Dixon's creation never took off, literally. Today, it stands as a fascinating glimpse into post-war optimism, when inventors believed the sky wasn't the limit, it was the next highway. Would you have dared to ride in this airborne car? This photograph captures the final farewell to Hachiko, the dog whose loyalty touched the world. For 9 years after his owner's death, Hachiko waited at Shibuya Station every single day, hoping for a reunion that never came. His unwavering devotion turned him into a national symbol of faithfulness in Japan. When Hachiko passed away in 1935, hundreds gathered to honor him. Police officers, locals, and even former students of his owner, Professor Ueno. Today, a bronze statue stands where he once waited, reminding millions that love and loyalty transcend life and death. Would you believe a dog could teach humanity its greatest lesson about devotion? Imagine Budapest in 1920, a world bound by tradition and strict gender roles. In the heart of that society, 2 women bravely posed for a wedding portrait, dressed in semi-drag attire, one in a sleek suit, the other in a gown. Though homosexuality between women wasn't illegal, societal expectations made their choice deeply radical. Historical records describe how a nobleman actually sued over rumors of a lesbian affair, only to be convicted of slander. This photo captures love unrestrained, defying norms and silence. It's more than a portrait, it's quiet resistance, a testament to identity before visibility. Over a century later, it still speaks volumes about courage and authenticity in love. Step into 1932, a time of daring experiments. Here's the cyclomer, an amphibious bicycle designed to pedal across land and float on water. Inventor Christoph Tadry wrapped a bicycle frame around pontoons, added oars and paddles, and called it a floating bicycle. It looked like a whimsical toy, yet it functioned, at least for short distances. Though unstable and slow, the cyclomer captured imaginations during an era that embraced bold inventions. It never became a common mode of transport, but it did challenge the idea of mobility itself. This odd invention reminds us that innovation often begins at the edge of the practical. And sometimes, that's where creativity thrives. In this iconic photo, taken in the late 1960s, Margaret Hamilton stands beside a towering stack of code, every page written by her and her MIT team for the Apollo program. That software guided astronauts safely to the moon and back, making history possible. Hamilton coined the term software engineering, at a time when women in tech were almost invisible. Her meticulous work prevented disasters during Apollo 11, proving that behind the giant leap for mankind was the brilliance of human logic and determination. This image is more than paper. It's the weight of innovation, precision, and courage that carried humanity beyond Earth for the very first time. This photograph captures Anna Coleman Ladd, an American sculptor, performing a quiet act of heroism during World War I. When thousands of soldiers returned from the front lines with devastating facial injuries, Ladd used her artistic talent to give them something priceless: a face to live with. She crafted delicate masks from thin copper, painting them to match skin tones, restoring not just appearance, but dignity. In an era with limited medical reconstruction, these masks helped soldiers reclaim their identity in a world that often turned away. This image is more than history. It's a testament to compassion, resilience, and the power of art to heal wounds no battlefield could ever measure. She looks straight into the camera, tiny, fragile, and far too young for the weight she carries. This haunting image, taken in 1908, reveals the dark reality of child labor in America's cotton mills. At an age when most children should be in school, thousands like her spent endless hours in dangerous factories, inhaling cotton dust, risking their lives for pennies. Their small hands made them perfect workers for fixing tangled threads in the spinning machines. A deadly task for anyone, let alone a child. This photograph didn't just document suffering. It sparked outrage, fueling the fight for labor reforms that would change history. Behind her innocent face lies the story of an industrial age built on sacrifice. This photograph captures the Titanic on April 10, 1912, leaving Southampton on what was supposed to be her glorious maiden voyage. Towering over the waters, she was called unsinkable, a floating palace of luxury and modern engineering. For the passengers waving from her decks, this was the start of a dream, a journey across the Atlantic like no other. But within days, that dream would shatter into history's most infamous maritime disaster. Over 1,500 souls would never return. Looking at this final image, it's chilling to think. None of them knew what awaited in the icy waters of the North Atlantic. A tragic reminder that even the mightiest creations are no match for nature. It was a cold morning on December 17, 1903, when two bicycle mechanics changed the course of history. The Wright Flyer lifted off the sand of Kitty Hawk, America's first powered, controlled flight. In this iconic image, the fragile wings and spars look almost impossible against the roaring wind. Yet inside sat Wilbur at the controls and Orville at the launching rail, defying gravity with nothing but innovation and grit. That 12-second flight proved that humans could conquer the sky. From that humble machine, today's aircraft were born. Imagine witnessing the very first moment flight abandoned its dreams for reality. A breakthrough that turned air into our greatest frontier. One glance at this photograph, and you know you're staring at the king of surrealism, Salvador Dali. Taken in 1953, this image captures the essence of his eccentric genius: the sharp suit, the confident stare, and, of course, that unforgettable mustache, curled like a question mark, daring the world to challenge convention. Dali didn't just paint. He rewrote reality with dreamlike visions that shocked and fascinated millions. His art blurred the line between madness and brilliance, making him one of the most provocative figures of the 20th century. Looking at this picture, you can almost hear him whisper, "I don't do drugs. I am drugs." In this haunting image from October 1961, two children reach through barbed wire, clinging to a friendship the world tried to tear apart. Just months earlier, Berlin was split overnight. Families, friends, and lives divided by concrete and steel. For these kids, the politics of the Cold War meant nothing. All they understood was the simple joy of playing together, now replaced by fear and longing. Behind their innocent faces lies a question too big for their age. Why does a wall decide who you can love and trust? This moment captures more than history. It captures humanity's desperate hope for connection, even in a world determined to separate us. In this striking photograph from 1940, Albert Einstein commands the stage, his wild hair as iconic as his ideas. Just a year earlier, he had fled Nazi Germany, carrying with him the brilliance that would forever change science. Here, he isn't discussing theories of relativity. He's warning the world about the dangers of war, the threat of tyranny, and the moral responsibility of science. His voice urged caution, even as the world marched toward global conflict. Behind that passionate expression lies a man torn between wonder and worry, genius and conscience. This image is more than a lecture. It's a glimpse into the mind of someone who saw the future before anyone else. This haunting image, captured during the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937, is known as Bloody Saturday. A lone child sits amidst the wreckage of a Shanghai train station, dust, fire, and twisted metal around him. His parents are gone. His home vanished. At just a few years old, he became the face of the human cost of war. When this photograph was published worldwide, it shocked nations and stirred outrage, becoming one of the most powerful anti-war images ever taken. It reminds us that behind every battle, behind every strategy, there is a life, small, fragile, and forever changed. Sometimes, a single picture can speak louder than any weapon. This photograph captures a moment of pure relief and unimaginable sorrow. It's 1945, and these women and children have just been liberated from a concentration camp at the end of World War II. Behind them, a train that once symbolized despair now stands still. Look at their faces, some smiling through tears, others frozen in disbelief. For years, they endured hunger, fear, and the constant shadow of death. Liberation didn't erase the pain, but it brought hope. A fragile, precious hope for life beyond barbed wire. This image reminds us that freedom is never free, and the cost of hate is always human. In history's darkest chapters, moments like this shine the brightest. This heartbreaking image, taken in 1948, captures a scene almost impossible to imagine today. A handwritten sign reads, "For children for sale, inquire within." Sitting on the steps are four innocent faces, unaware of what those words truly mean. Their mother stands behind them, covering her face in shame and despair. Post-war America wasn't easy for many families. Poverty and unemployment forced some into unthinkable decisions. While stories differ about what happened to these children, this photo became a haunting symbol of desperation. It reminds us that behind every smiling picture of the past, there were hidden struggles and choices no parent should ever have to make. In 1946, humanity saw Earth like never before. This grainy black and white image may seem simple today, but it marked the dawn of the space age. Captured from a V-2 rocket launched by the U.S. Army, it soared 65 miles above the Earth's surface, far beyond the reach of balloons and airplanes. For the first time, people could see our planet from the edge of space, revealing its curved horizon and fragile beauty. This single photo changed our perspective forever, sparking a dream that would lead to satellites, space stations, and moon landings. From this moment on, Earth was no longer just our home. It became a world we could truly see. In the summer of 1957, the Nevada desert lit up with a terrifying glow. This was Operation Plumbob, one of the largest and most controversial nuclear test series in U.S. history. Over 4 months, 30 nuclear devices were detonated, pushing the boundaries of weapons technology and radiation studies. The blast you see here, codenamed Fuzhou, unleashed unimaginable heat and force, turning night into day. Soldiers, scientists, and even civilians were exposed to fallout, with consequences still debated today. These explosions symbolized both the pinnacle of scientific achievement and the shadow of global annihilation. This image is a stark reminder of an era when humanity played with fire, and the stakes were survival itself.